55 years ago today, on August 6, 1965, the Voting Rights Act of 1965, one of the most expansive pieces of civil rights legislation in the history of the United States, passed into law. It enacted protections against voter suppression by eliminating literacy tests, poll taxes, and other obstacles to registration and voting. We mark this anniversary today with a look at the Brandywine River Museum of Art's current exhibition, Witness to History, Selma Photography of Stephen Somerstein. The march from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama, held in March of 1965, and the images of it seen nationwide on television and in print played a significant role in the passage of the act. In the 55 photographs now on display at the Brandywine, taken by college student Stephen Somerstein, we see the final day of the march with more than 25,000 participants. Not only did it take several days to cover the 54-mile route, but it took 3 attempts to get the march successfully to the steps of the Alabama State Capitol building. The first attempt ended on March 7, 1965, in the brutal violence known now as Bloody Sunday. Alabama state troopers and others met the marchers with clubs and tear gas as they crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge. John Lewis, the late U.S. representative in Georgia, suffered a fractured skull, and march leader Amelia Boynton was beaten unconscious. Photographs of Boynton lying on the bridge and other images of the attack quickly made headlines across the country. The second attempt, begun on March 9th, also reached the Pettus Bridge, where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. led a large contingent of clergy who knelt and prayed before turning back to Selma. What made the third attempt, begun on March 21st, successful? Joined by thousands and now under federal protection, the marchers had the knowledge that just days before, the Voting Rights Act had been introduced in Congress and was publicly supported in a televised speech by President Lyndon B. Johnson. Lewis, Boynton, and King were all present at the signing of the Voting Rights Act in August of 1965. Unlike a constitutional amendment, such as the 15th Amendment enfranchising African American men or the 19th Amendment enfranchising women, an act is regularly subject to challenges and revision. Even today, the Voting Rights Advancement Act of 2019 is before Congress in an attempt to reconstitute some of the protections that have been stripped away from the original Voting Rights Act in recent years.